Welcome guys, in today's video I'll show you the optimal method of calibrating your sensitivity in order to obtain the perfect settings in PUBG Mobile. But first, make sure you leave a like so the algorithm grants you pro PUBG Mobile skills. Let's begin. Sensitivity is the most fundamental aspect of the game, even more than your controls. It's incredibly important to get a perfect setup because only then will you be able to accurately focus the reticle on your opponents while controlling the recoil of your shots. Generally, people think that if you copy the sensitivities of a professional player, you will become an excellent player yourself, but this is not the case. Even if you play on the same phone, the variable that changes is the most fundamental, the player. Each of us has diverse finger sizes, different muscle strength, and varied bone development, which at the end of the day means that everyone needs a different sensitivity. That's why I've developed the ultimate method to calibrate your perfect sensitivity. There are 4 types of sensitivity: free look, general camera, ADS, and gyroscope. Free look sensitivity. Free look is the eye icon that controls camera movement regardless of your character's change of direction. There are 3 free look settings. Third person camera. This setting determines focus sensitivity only in third person perspective. Parachute camera. This setting determines focus sensitivity only while parachuting. First person camera. This setting determines focus sensitivity only in first-person perspective. Adjusting an optimal free look sensitivity is important because it allows you to easily scan your surroundings for potential threats. Make sure to set a value that allows you to do 2 full circles with 1 thumb swipe. Use the same value for the parachute camera. The reason for using the same value is because you don't spend a lot of time on the parachute, so you won't be able to have enough practice to get used to the sensitivity unless you use the one that you're already comfortable with. However, the first-person camera has a 90-degree field of focus limit, so its optimal sensitivity will be half the value of the camera in third person. Now, get used to being precise with free look sensitivity using this training exercise. General sensitivity. The general camera movement is controlled by the thumb as long as you're not shooting. It's made up of 4 sections. Do you notice something? Each section has exactly half the sensitivity of the previous level. This is the optimal base sensitivity you're going to start with. I want you to configure your general camera sensitivity with these values. Now, we're going to go through each section and you're going to adjust percentage by percentage until you get your perfect values. Remember this basic rule: if your focus moves too much, lower the sensitivity. If it moves too little, increase it. Let's begin. Hip focus. This section determines the sensitivity of camera movement when you're not aiming. Its main purpose is to change the direction your character faces, but it is also used to focus your general reticle on a target. Make sure to set a value that allows you to quickly focus backwards with a single swipe of your thumb on the right side of your screen. Now get used to your new no-scope sensitivity with this training exercise. Don't adjust this sensitivity further. This drill is only to get used to the value you just got with the previous tip. Close range focus. This section determines the motion sensitivity for basic sights and the 2x scope. The main purpose of these sights is to maintain a wide field of view when aiming at close range. Concentrate primarily on optimizing wide focus accuracy and secondarily on movement tracking. Make sure to set a value that allows you to comfortably transfer between 2 targets with 1 precise thumb swipe. This method can help. Set up standard training and try to transfer precisely between 2 targets without shooting them. Adjust your sensitivity until you can do it 10 times in a row without a problem. Do it with both sights. Once you adjust a perfect value, set up standard training with a moving target and keep your sights fixed on the target as much as possible. This is an exercise to get used to the secondary aspect of these sights, tracking moving targets. Mid-range focus. This section determines the movement sensitivity for 3x and 4x scopes. The main purpose of these scopes is to maintain excellent precise focus on mid-range targets. Try to prioritize precision with a confined field of view. Pick a target at medium range and do this movement. Adjust your sensitivity until you can consistently focus the crosshairs at the head of your target. Make sure you repeat the process for each of the two scopes, as both have different magnification. Long-range focus. This section determines the movement sensitivity for the 6x and 8x scopes. The main purpose of these long-range sights is to obtain excellent precise focus at large distances. So you have to prioritize precision with a highly restricted field of view. Use the same method used for mid-range focus, but do it with a long-range target. Consistently focus the reticle at the head of your target and adjust the sensitivity until you're comfortable with it. This process is especially important for the 8x scope. Once you feel like you've achieved perfect sensitivity for long-distance targets, practice this training exercise to quickly get used to obtaining precise focus. ADS sensitivity. The movement sensitivity of ADS is controlled by thumb swipes as long as you are shooting. This means that the moment you start shooting, you switch from using the general camera sensitivity to using the ADS sensitivity. Here's an extreme demonstration. The sections are the same as general camera sensitivity, but their purpose is different. You only use this sensitivity while shooting, so the main purpose for scoping sections is recoil control, but for hipfire sections, it's movement tracking. Now that you've achieved your perfect overall camera sensitivity, copy it to ADS for optimal use as base sensitivity. Hip tracking. This section determines the sensitivity of camera movement when you're hip firing. Its primary purpose is to track moving targets, but it also has a small role for recoil control while hip firing. Set up standard training with a moving target and get closer to make it immune. Start shooting it and keep your reticle on the target as much as possible. Start adjusting your sensitivity until you can do it consistently. Remember that if your reticle is moving too much, you have to lower the sensitivity, and if it moves too little, you have to increase it. Make sure your thumb is moving at a consistent pace that you feel comfortable with. Close range recoil. This section determines the movement sensitivity for basic sights and the 2x scope. The main purpose of these sights is to control recoil at close range. Focus primarily on keeping your reticle on target while shooting. Now, start shooting at the target of your choice from 20 meters away. Keep your thumb in a constant downward motion. If the reticle stays higher than the target, increase the sensitivity. If it overcompensates and is lower than the target, decrease the sensitivity. The objective of this drill is to obtain a value that allows you to maintain optimal recoil control. Mid-range recoil. This section determines the movement sensitivity for 3x and 4x scopes. The main purpose of these sights is to control mid-range recoil. There are many similarities to the previous section, so the method for finding your optimal mid-range recoil sensitivity is the same. Just increase the distance to your target to 100 meters and start calibrating the sensitivity to find the correct value. Remember that 4x zoom is the middle ground between conventional sights and high caliber scopes. Make sure to keep it balanced between precision and control to give yourself the flexibility to handle both full auto and single fire modes. Long range recoil. This section determines the movement sensitivity for the 6x and 8x scopes. The primary purpose of these sights with ADS sensitivity is to control single fire recoil at long ranges for DMRs. Now, temporarily set the general camera sensitivity at 1% for the scope you're currently calibrating. Keep the base sensitivity for ADS. Now, focus on a target of your choice with a DMR equipped with whatever high caliber scope you want to calibrate. Shoot 5 bullets in single fire and adjust your sensitivity, always depending on the compounded result of the recoil tendency for the 5 bullets. What do I mean by this? If after firing 5 shots, the majority of the time your reticle is below the target, there is an overcompensation. You have very high sensitivity, decrease it. But if most of the time your reticle is high above the target, you have very low sensitivity, increase it. An ideal result is obtained when your reticle rests at the same horizontal level relative to the target. Once you get the perfect sensitivity, don't forget to return the general camera sensitivity for the scope you just calibrated to its previous setting that you calibrated before ADS adjustment. Gyroscope. The movement of the gyroscope is controlled solely by the physical rotation of your cell phone. It is made up of 6 sections. The optimal method of finding the best gyro sensitivity is quite complex and merits its own video. If you want to be notified of that guide, make sure you subscribe. But if you are not yet a gyroscope user and want to start, I suggest that you turn it on completely and copy these sensitivity settings. Don't do anything else and don't think about the gyroscope. Just get used to the slight gyro movements that will subconsciously train your muscle memory while you play normally with your fingers. After having followed these steps, you should already have your perfect sensitivity, but there is still something more to do. Regardless of you now having calibrated your optimal settings, it will feel incredibly annoying at first as your muscle memory gets used to the new sensitivity and forgets the old one. Here's a training routine that you have to repeat with each scope to get used to the movements as quickly as possible. Exercise number 1. Dynamic full auto recoil control. This exercise will help you get used to controlling the recoil with your new sensitivity. Make sure you only do it with the scopes that you want to use for spraying. Exercise number 2. Single fire accuracy. Set up standard training with these settings at distances that make sense for the scope you are using. This drill will help you quickly focus on an opponent's head. Exercise number 3. Target transfer and accuracy. This exercise focuses on helping you improve quick transfer between multiple targets combined with recoil control. Make sure you don't stop shooting while moving between targets. Exercise number 4. Advanced precision training. This drill will train your ability to quickly focus on a target from all directions in which your reticle can find itself relative to where you have to lock onto. You're also combining it with burst recoil training by firing around 5 bullets each time you focus on the central target. Exercise number 5. Advanced correction training. Focus a certain distance down from your target and quickly focus onto the center and fire. Do this repeatedly until you have to reload. Now change the base direction to the right. After this, do it from above and then from the left. Keep going until you run out of bullets in your backpack. The purpose of this exercise is to train your distance correction skills to lock onto your target from either side, whether you are pointing up, down, left, or right. You can also do it from the hip. It may take hours in the training grounds to get the perfect values for you. Make sure to rewatch this video whenever you begin to adjust your sensitivity. It will take a lot of effort, but in the end, it will all be worth it because those few hours will make you an incredibly effective and deadly player.